guest, Eric Murphy. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
Hey! Oh, I don't know if I can live up to all those varies, but I'll try.
Listen, I've been holding them berries in for the past 5, 6 years. You just don't know how
Oh,
badly I've been wanting to meet you. And even though it's virtually, I'm so excited to be here with you on the
yay!
stream with you and actually doing a call-in show. Oh
Right? I know.
my
We get
God.
we can dive right in. I'm excited.
Yes, yes, guys, if you are out there and you want to talk, not to necessarily to me, you can actually talk to Eric because he is on the
I
show with us right now.
Great.
No pressure. No
No,
pressure.
no, no. Honestly, the call-in format is something that I've gotten used to and comfortable with. It's interesting, isn't it? Like that filling that space. Like
Mm.
it's just you and the camera, and it gets nerve-wracking. Doesn't like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I've done it a few times. I
yeah.
like usually I'm the if we do a live stream, it's usually me just like interacting with panelists, things of that nature. Like I've done like the other call-in shows previously, but it's always easier to do with a pro, and you're definitely a pro. And Eric, I wanted to tell you when we were talking backstage. I
Yeah.
didn't get a chance to tell this story, guys. Bear
Uh-oh.
with me, guys.
Uh-oh.
I'm fangirling, so please bear with me before we get to the calls, okay?
Aw.
This
Okay.
this gives you a chance to call. Like put this in like your speed dial. If you want to call in and talk to us this evening, please call us at 984-789-4787. The lines are open. Okay, so I gotta tell the story. So yeah.
Okay.
So like I've been like a fan of yours since your ACA days on Talk Heathen. I listened to you on Sundays and also on back. On the playbacks during the week, right? If I didn't get a chance to listen live on Sundays, right?
Yeah.
So I remember a couple stories. So remember I was telling you that the reason why I'm actually on YouTube is because of Ethan Michael.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to the show when Ethan called in to talk to you and B.
Yeah. I
And
remember.
he was asking for advice on how to do his channel and things of that nature, and you guys were very gracious and gave him like really good advice and stuff. And since he said that he was in the Chicago area, I decided to check him out. And the first show that I checked out was him debating Larry the Christian.
Oh.
And yeah.
Okay.
And when he was debating Larry the Christian, Larry said something very strange. He said that we, as a collective human beings, have
Sure.
more evidence for the living, death, and resurrection of Jesus than we do Julius Caesar. So after I got up off the floor because I fainted,
I
you
understandably, honestly.
know,
What? Okay.
yeah. I decided to write a whole litany of stuff in the comment section because I was watching this as a playback too. And I was like, what are you talking about? We have no archaeological evidence for the existence of Jesus. The only thing we have are the Gospels. And besides, we have the death mask of Julius Caesar. We have coins that actually
Yeah.
show that he actually started to age as time went on. We have his own personal writings. What are you saying to me right
Yeah.
now? So,
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you for actually introducing me to that. And then one of my most memorable Talk Even episodes with you and V is when this, I don't know if you remember her. She was, I believe that, I don't know if she was in the Air Force or she was in the Army. I think it was Air Force because I remember her saying that she flew planes, and she said that she was a flat earther. And she said that she believes that there was a firmament. She believed that there was a dome and a wall that separated things, and that the earth
I
was flat. And I remember like you and V was really struggling to talk to her because she actually flew planes and actually had to study how the curvature of the earth worked in order for her to be able to read her maps.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
do you
that's
remember that?
I don't I
I know
well,
it was a while ago. It was years ago, but
I can only imagine. Yeah, no. could you imagine how fearful you must be to be a pilot believing that there's a firmament? Like,
Yeah,
that if you're gonna fly high enough, you're gonna hit the top? Like, that's
right, right. Or if you fly too far, you're going to hit the dome wall.
yeah.
I don't.
I mean, don't, like but just can we just for, like, a second, like,
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that there are people who think we live in a snow globe?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
just for a moment, if we could just, like, stew in that,
yeah,
because
yeah.
really, like, even when, back before J.K. Rowling went bonkers,
Hmm.
whenever I thought about Harry Potter and that I didn't give a crap about fuck Harry Potter.
Right,
It
right, right.
universe. I wanted to go to Diagon Alley. I wanted to go
Yeah,
to Hogwarts. I wanted to go to Hogwarts and, just follow some random wizard for a week, you know?
yeah, yeah. That looked like fun.
Yeah, and like, if somebody lives in that universe, I just wanna follow that for, like, a week. I just kinda wanna know, like, what other crazy lizard people shit are dealing with, Like, because that, like, that's not the only crazy egg in the basket. Like, there's
No.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can mine for
yeah,
cities there. I
yes,
just
yes. There's a rabbit hole just waiting to happen to fall
Yeah,
into.
and also, though, just how much did the system fail this person to
Mm,
instill in them a distrust?
yeah.
So, like, and the system fails people
Oh yeah. Oh
a
yeah.
lot. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
over the years, I've gotten less aggressive when it comes to hearing that people are hesitant about medicine,
Mm, mm-hmm.
and it's because a lot of people go to the doctor and the doctor won't believe them when they say they're in pain, or they
Yes.
won't believe them when they say, I'm having, whatever issues.
Right. Right.
And like, don't get me wrong, I still think medicine is the best, like, evidence-based approach,
Of
obviously.
course. Right.
But, like, if somebody has been burned that hard by the system,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway,
It's well, no, it's difficult. I run that gambit a lot, because like my day job is not being on Skeptic Haven's call-in show as much as you all believe me not to be, but I'm a social worker and I have to talk to people about taking their medications all the time. And for the most part, I don't get much pushback. But for those who may have had some trauma with the healthcare system, which is very real, or whether if it was them or maybe a child that they have had that wasn't treated properly, and then there was like, effects that they have to live with for the rest of their life, it's very difficult to navigate that space. You
yeah,
know, the best thing that I can do is I give them, the pep talk, and I give them the evidence, and then I encourage them to read up on, whatever type of medication they have to take, whatever type of treatment that they have to do.
yeah,
And I also encourage them to be the biggest advocate for themselves when they are talking to their doctor. And not to and also too not to be afraid to get second opinions, because just your doctor is a human being and they don't always get it right. So if you're really adamant, like, what, I'm not really accepting this explanation that they're giving me, I think that I want to get checked out by somebody else, you are perfectly within your right to do that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Just as long as you're doing something. And you've got this really, like, comforting vibe. Like, I could imagine people just being like, I can trust you. Like, you've definitely got this yeah, no, I think they're lucky to have you. You definitely have just your whole yeah, no.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, and yeah, and I would say that about you. Like, like, oh, you have that AMSR thing going on with your voice. And every time that you like talk, I'm just like, I'm so comforted right now.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Even if you're yelling at an apologist who's just like really just being like, disingenuous within your,
I
different, even though like I noticed that there's an evolution with you, Eric, from like when I first like started to watch you up until now, that
yeah.
you're not as yelly, which it's kind of cool.
Well, I mean, okay, so it takes a while for people to find their voice. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
And when I started out, there weren't a lot of other people who were doing this. And
Mhm.
so, I mean, really, honestly, when Jamie and I started, we were just two little Matt Dillahunty clones. Like we
Mm.
were just waiting to like dive in the way that we
Yeah.
saw him do it in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah.
And I found that number one, it's just not me. And number
Mhm.
two, it I feel like actively listening and trying to find out where they are so you can meet them where they are
Mhm.
has so much more like convincing power,
Yeah.
you know. And if I do lose my shit, you know they deserve it.
Oh yeah.
Like if somebody gets me that angry,
Right. Right.
they
Right.
have fully deserved it. The last time I yelled at somebody, it's because somebody called me boy, and I was like, "Oh,
Listen.
oh, okay, that's that." Yeah, but yeah, it's been a while. It's been a
Yeah.
while.
No, 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 no. I've even back in the day when I first started listening to you up until now, I noticed that it would take you a very long time to get to the point where like Angry Eric came out instead of chill reading the book of Eric was on stage. So
Actually,
where's the book of you
I've
got
got a
the book
book
of
of Eric right here. And
oh!
let me see if I'd have known you to watch the shows, I'd have pulled out the jacket.
Oh
Let
my
me
gosh!
let me see here.
Oh my gosh!
You know what?
Yeah.
Once we take our first call, and I don't want to ditch you. I'll. It's right off screen. I'll grab it.
Yes,
I'll put
please
it on for you.
do.
Absolutely.
Eric, I said that I was fangirling.
But I gotta put the jacket on
You
for
gotta
you.
put the jacket on. I mean,
Yeah.
gosh, hello. God, Eric.
You are so sweet.
I need the jacket. I need the book of Eric. I need it all. And I need the
I
smelling pot roasters in the background. Anyway, go
Oh,
ahead.
oh, oh, yeah, no, that's something we talked about beforehand.
Yeah.
For people who are tuning in, Eric made pot roast, and it is in the crock pot, and my entire house just smells so yummy. It feels like I'm welcoming the fall, you know.
You're your own NPR show. I love it. Great. I love it. I love it. It's almost like you having a whole conversation with Terry Gross talking about pot roast right now. I love it. Come through.
That would be fun. That'd be fun.
I love it. It will be.
So, what have you done like since? Obviously, this is not what you normally do. Where
No,
like
it's not normally what I normally do. So like on this channel, I am on Women Atheists Unload. I sometimes host there, and then we have a new show that just debuted last month called 30 and 60, where we take like some of the top news stories from the last 30 days and we present and we do a whole show like in 60 plus minutes, right?
oh,
So yeah, so like
that takes a lot of prep.
yeah, yeah, and I'm usually the prepper, but I love that type of stuff. But
Uh,
I love that stuff. I really do. Like I'm such a political nerd. Like I love like kind of delving into politics and news and stories. Matter of fact, I have my niece is a journalist, so like I talk
oh
to
man,
her about some of
nice.
her like reporting now all the time. So yeah, I just I love that stuff. So it's not that big of a deal to me.
You'd get along well with V. As much as philosophical arguments and apologetics, I can keep my cool.
Hmm.
I lose my shit way too quickly with politics.
Mm.
I just it I yeah, I can't go that distance. But that's yeah, doing that prep, that reminds me of the back in the day with the nonprofits.
Yeah, yeah. And well, I'm used to doing that too because I also do the nonprofit. So we prep for that as well. I'm one of the producers on the nonprofits now. So a lot of times I have to dive into stories anyway to see, like, what is the craziest thing that's happening right now in different circles, whether it's political, whether if it's in the religious sector, whether if it's secular, whether if it's like either J.K. Rowling or Richard Dawkins all losing their minds. We talk about all of that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I just love the news. Like,
Okay.
all of it. But I can definitely understand why anybody would really like lose it when it comes to politics, because politics is personal.
It is.
It is so personal. I mean, like, because like depending on who we are sending to whatever office that's representing us, what they vote on affects our lives. And you want to make sure that whoever is the person that's running and the things that they are saying are lining up with your values. And if they don't, then you don't want to send them.
Well,
and then, yeah.
But what if,
Right.
hear me out.
Come
I know
on.
this is just hear me out.
I'm hearing. I'm listening actively.
What if the party you voted for
Mm-hmm.
has not done to your satisfaction remotely enough to, I don't know, restore women's bodily autonomy, or
That part.
I don't know, how about not supporting wars in the Middle East? And
That part. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, how about if they brag about creating jobs and yet we are in an economy where over half of the jobs on LinkedIn and all of that are fake, and the other half don't pay people enough to survive.
That part right there.
It feels like both sides are kind of lining up to suck off the billionaires, and so
Yes.
fuck all. I don't know if I can cuss on this show. I'm sorry.
No, you can.
Fuck all of them. I'm so angry.
Yes.
And yes, fuck more. Some people more than others, obviously. But what the shit?
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. There's no politician currently that I see that hasn't fucking failed the people miserably.
Eric,
just
I hear
more.
You. And I hear you, and a lot of your sentiments I share. I really do. I mean, especially like I share it, like, because I've done activism work. I've done the engaging politics and politicians, and even trying to work with some to get like certain things passed. And the only thing I can tell people with that who just want to completely disengage, and you're absolutely in your right to do, is that I think that some of the things that we kind of forget is that, remember, this is still a representative republic, and it's still our votes that actually do count to see who we actually send to wherever we go. But one of the things that I feel that is more important, and this is me, Cynthia, being on my soapbox, excuse me.
I just got on mine. You have every right. The stage is yours.
Yes, thank you. I'm on my soapbox now, people. To me, and where my head is, even though, like, yes, I will vote, of course, on the federal level, but all politics are local. So I am very much so going to be paying attention and even engaging my local politicians more so than I would be concerned about who the president is, who the vice president is, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I will say on the presidential level, I have deep concerns with both candidates for different reasons, obviously. Yeah. And part of my concerns are exactly what you said. Matter of fact, me and my mom was having this whole conversation earlier today about supporting different regimes with our tax money, and they are aiding and abetting genocide. Yep. Right. And how, like, and I was even telling her, I said, this would not have gone as far as if Obama was president, because him and Netanyahu did not get along at all. Yeah, they did not get along at all. And it was a few times, even though that he would sign off on some aid to Israel, he would still be very circumspect on what to give and what not to give. So even though, like, I'm disappointed in Obama too.
Yeah,
Listen,
he was too hawkish for me. He was too
yeah,
hawkish for me. He
mhm.
signed off on drone strikes on American citizens
He
overseas.
did.
And
He
that's
did.
where I'm
He
just
did.
saying,
He did.
yeah.
Yeah, no, no, listen, we don't have enough time in the
Look,
show.
we opened up the box. I told you, we're talking about what pisses me
Yes.
off, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that
yeah.
was
No, no,
you
no.
found the thing.
No, no,
Yeah,
you're good. You are good. Like, listen. Like, we don't have enough time in the show for me just to go down the list of all the things that I am disappointed in Obama, all 2 terms that he was actually in office. Okay,
but
trust.
I'd still go back if I could, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
trust. Yeah, I would.
yeah.
Like, some things that I completely like. Yes, good job. And some things I'm like, you suck. But then, that's how I am with all of my politics. I go, that was good, but you suck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm the hardest on the people closest to me.
Yeah.
If I'm not close to you, I don't care. But if
Right.
if it's somebody who I know that, they're listening to me, that they're a family member or something like that, I am so much harder on them than
Hmm.
a stranger. And
Yeah.
so for people who are saying, well, it's, look at the alternative. No, it's not about that.
Hmm.
It's about wanting like wanting the best, not
Yeah.
settling for mediocrity.
It's exactly like, listen, I am looking at the alternative, but still, I need the person who is a better choice to be better than what they're presenting me.
Yeah.
Because you can, if you wanna.
I if it, I yeah I you put it in a way that yeah but by the way, if I'm looking off to the side, it's because I have the live chat up way over here, and
Yeah,
so I'm just trying to check that as well.
no, 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 you're good. You're good. I don't know. Like, I was looking to the side. I should have asked people, do we have anybody that is in queue right now that's ready to say something to us?
If you want to call the show, call
Yes.
984-789-4787 and let's talk.
This is why you do what you do. You are the professional.
Again, 984-789-4787.
Right, exactly. Because, like, here's the thing, guys. Like, I will talk Eric's ear off all 90 minutes on the show. I really would. And I can do it. If anybody's familiar, I but Eric, as we were waiting for some calls,
Yeah.
so, because I know that there's we're still waiting for people to call in to 984-789-4787. Let's talk. We have the wonderful, talented, brilliant philosophy nerd Eric Murphy on, guys. Come on. Yeah. He is a pro at this. Okay. He does the thing
I'm an
that
old hand.
he's an old hand in a new book.
I like that. Oh, speaking of,
Mm-hmm.
can I show a little bit?
Chill.
For people who don't know,
Mm,
I haven't stopped doing call-in shows. I still
that's right.
yeah, I when V and I left the ACA, we started we had our own call-in show called Skeptic Generation.
Mhm.
We didn't want it to interfere with the other shows. We wanted to be respectful of all of that, and if people want to binge throughout the day, they're absolutely welcome to. So we decided that we were going to go on at 11 a.m. Central,
Right.
9 p.m. Pacific.
Mhm.
It's called Skeptic Generation. It's on live every Sunday. I did my show earlier this morning, and
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Oh, I know. You know what? I was watching today, right? And there was a young lady who called in who was raised Anglican.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That kind of blew my mind. It sounded like she didn't get a whole lot of Jesus.
No, I was going to talk to you about that a little bit because I was raised Anglican.
Okay, did you get a lot of Jesus? Was this person like what happened? Talk to me. This is good. This is feedback. So did you get a lot of Jesus? I mean, I'm an atheist, and
Yeah.
I will say Jesus did some pretty cool shit in the
Sure.
stories.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but like, if he was just like a magic MacGuffin who just like touched it and he got healed, like, what would Jesus do? Makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, talk to me.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so if I completely stayed in the whole Anglican life, WWJD wouldn't have made no sense to me either. But when I was growing up and I went to church with my mom and my grandma, we didn't take Bibles to church. We had a book called the Book of Common Prayer. And that was basically a book that had all the different formats of the Mass, because, like she said, it was like Catholic Light, right? When we were, it was Catholic Light. So, like, the Book of Common Prayer had like all the different things that you were supposed to say during, this part of the Mass and that part of the Mass. And then we had a priest too, or a minister, or in England they called them the vicar, and the vicar.
Okay.
Yes, like the Vicar of Dibley. I love that damn show. Anyway, so they would actually get up and do their little, homily sermon, which was like roughly 20-25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You threw back your Jesus juice, you ate your cracker. Okay, there was a few more prayers of the people, and then you were out of there for a football. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was kind of come in, pay the toll.
Yeah.
Move on with your life.
Yeah. And no one like tried to shake you down for tithes and offering. Like, they would pass the plate around and say, like, give your thing. If you gave like a few bucks here and there, they had a diocese. Who cares?
Okay. Like, I was a born again Christian.
Yeah.
And capitalism has absolutely just I had a children's Bible, and then when I became a teenager, I had a teen study Bible, and then aside from my teen study Bible, there were devotionals for young men, there were devotionals for young women, there are devotionals for young couples, there are devotionals for young singles, like you name it.
Yeah.
And the merchandise, the merchandise was insane. And we had like, it was a lifestyle. Like we had awful Christian alternatives to every band you can think of.
Oh yeah.
We're very, very proud of Creed. Creed got up there. But like, that was
I'm familiar with Creed. I'm familiar with Creed. He wasn't terrible. He was
no. I'll still hold me now. I'm 6 feet. Yeah, no, solid.
yeah,
solid. But a metalhead, listen to Skillet. And just. Oh, I still, and there's more. I mean, so did you have Veggie Tales?
Okay, so I didn't get familiar with your side of the aisle until college, because that's when
you missed the good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so but I knew of Veggie Tales because there was a young woman who brought her daughter to school with her, and I would babysit her, and she loved VeggieTales. So they would give me the tapes for me to play. She would be in my dorm eating her little Skittles or whatever type of snack I would give her, and we'd be watching VeggieTales together, and I'll just be like,
yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah. So like, not having that kind of really kind of intimate connection, with all of those. And then, we had the songs that did you have kids songs that like there was a song we would sing about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
There was no Shadrach, Meshach, or Abednego. No, none of that. No, like I said, like I didn't get familiar with that entire world until college, until I became born again, say whatever the fuck you call it. Yeah.
You were born again too? Okay.
Yes, I was born again, but like that happened like when I was like 18, 19, like freshman, sophomore year of college, because I loved gospel music, and I sang in the gospel choir at school. And one of the requirements is that, you had to go to church, but they knew better because we were college students. So church did not start until 3 p.m.
So were you like old enough that you wanted to go like full service, or did you do the cool edgy youth pastor kind of
So,
thing?
so I found a church that kind of came out of the Pentecostal Church of God in Christ
Oh,
thing.
oh,
Yeah, that was intense. It was intense.
yeah,
Yeah. And so like I felt I had a calling. I had a calling.
yeah,
And Jesus was calling me. She was like, Cynthia.
of course.
And I was like, I hear you, Lord. Crying, blubbering, you know the whole thing. They
Oh,
put sheets
absolutely.
on
I gotta
you,
get saved. Do it
you
again,
know.
just in case the first time didn't take.
Right, exactly. Like only if my feet got saved. I need my arms and my legs. The
Yep,
rest of them, that happened. They threw the oil on me that they put the smelling salts in because it
yep.
was like really fragrant, and it was very interesting. People was running around like, "Thank you, Jesus." They were saying, "Hamalama shimalama damalama shimalama
Okay.
damalama."
So,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
so,
yeah,
so they
yeah.
were that close to the Pentecostal that they were speaking
Right,
in tongues.
right. Yeah, they did
Like,
the glossalia and everything. Yeah, they did. Yeah,
oh, interesting. I was thinking like the born again church that I went to, that
yeah.
like maybe every once in a while, but I could absolutely imagine somebody leaving a Pentecostal church and going like to a Methodist church and
Mm.
doing the tongues thing and then stopping and be like, oh, we don't do that here.
No, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like listen,
oh,
let me tell you something, Eric. I remember like a couple times growing up, and like you would have like some other people who came from that tradition, and they would kind of visit our church, and they would get like a little bit lively, and we was like, we
we,
don't
we, we
do that here.
we listen to Hillsong here. That's yeah, that's no.
No, we didn't even do Hillsong.
You didn't
We didn't do Hillsong. No, we did. What did we
Oh,
didn't know. Listen, we had a hymnal, like a straight hymnal, like we was singing
yeah.
like and he will raise you up. That's Sunday growing up for
That was
me.
impressive. That was
Thank
impressive.
you. Well,
Yeah.
we sang that song. That was the favorite song of, and I think it still is, because my mom goes to the same church. It's the same one. But I believe that we got I think we got somebody. We got somebody
Oh,
that's on. So we're gonna go ahead and take. Oh, we got Bree Badger, who's an
Bree.
atheist. Zize is their pronouns. Come on, Bree. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good,
Hey.
good.
Bree has been the most consistent and reliable, dependable call screener for Skeptic Generation for so long. I am
Thank
so happy to see
you.
you here, Bree.
Thank you for being here, Bree. And I just want to
Yeah.
apologize, everyone in the background. If you hear like screaming and hollering, that's my kid. He's 3. Sorry.
Aw.
But yeah, go ahead.
No.
So, what, Bree, what
Yeah.
you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, you guys were talking politics a little bit ago, so I figured I'd just bring up one of my kind of pet peeves, specifically about the Democratic Party in the United States.
Bring it on.
Oh,
That,
no.
yeah, when they're in charge, as in like actually like, president, majority in the House or Senate, whatever, they really don't like it when anyone asks for change, like for anything to be changed. And they especially do not like it when anyone criticizes their politicians, no matter what the criticism is. And it doesn't matter if there's an election year or not, but they especially do not like it in the election year.
Can you give example like what you're of what you have seen?
So, like people asking for like expanded welfare benefits or COVID relief funds, Medicare for all, stuff like that. How dare you? We have to do X, and it's just like, you mean the stuff you were already doing? You can't also do this?
Right.
Thought you guys were wanting to help people. And it's like they always come up with excuses as to why they can't actually help people.
Yeah.
At least it seems that way. I mean, obviously they do deliver on some promises, and obviously they are better than Republicans on average.
It goes without saying.
Yeah.
Better than, it's not really much of an accomplishment to be better than Trump.
Listen, the spider that was on my ceiling that I killed with Raid is better than 45. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it.
I mean, yeah.
Spider ate. Provide a service.
Yeah, that part. It will kill insects. So, but I got bit by a spider, so I'm definitely afraid of spiders. So every time I see one, I got
Okay.
yeah. That's so. But other than that,
Yeah.
But yeah, continue, please.
Catch them and put them outside. Like y'all be outside.
Eric, what say you about Bree?
I mean, I absolutely agree. I think that you know, when like there's that famous line about opiate of the masses, and it feels definitely like when there is a Democrat in the White House, all of the people who voted Democrat just took a big Valium, chilled out, and forgot about all the things that they wanted to get changed, and it just.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right there with you. I very much feel like we would march, or I don't know, perhaps goose step in the wrong direction if Trump got elected. Sure. But I don't think that we're making progress in the right direction if you know, Vice President Harris got elected either. And so
yeah.
I think we just need to get pissed off. Honestly, I think we need to get pissed off, and I think that continuing my train of thought will get me demonetized and put on a list. So that's where I'm going to end it. Draw your own conclusions.
Well, way to put it, Eric. I'll tell you.
I mean,
now to get them elected, and then we hold their feet to the fire afterwards. And I'm like,
they put up a thing on the screen that says views of our hosts may not express the views of Skeptic Haven,
but in this case, probably do.
Probably do.
Shout out to our producers. Thank you so much.
The producers.
Shout out to the producers. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. I'm sorry again, guys. My son is knocking down on my door. Honey, if you want to come in, you can. I can
vamp if you need to. Being a mom always comes first. That's understood.
Okay. Well, he's here. He is here, and he has walked away, and he is. I'm yes, I'm doing a show, baby. Oh, okay. All right, I'll see you. Okay. And there's that. Go ahead.
Well, Cynthia, I'd love to get your opinion. I just kind of threw myself out there and possibly incriminated myself. You talk. How do you feel about it?
Okay, say hi, everybody. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, bye. Oh, he ran away. Okay, he got intimidated. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, all of what you said, and then some. Okay, so like, I'm completely with you. Like, you know, my partner says that I'm his favorite communist, and if they actually prick me, I would bleed pink. So with that being said, you know, I am very much so on the socialist side of, you know, politics. Like, I want to see Medicare for all. I want to see a Green New Deal. I am a descendant of chattel slavery. I want reparations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all of that. And one of the things, and one of the things that I believe frustrates me the most is that you have a lot of us who are looking at, you know, 45 as an existential threat to democracy, which I truly believe that. But at the same time, we're getting these creepy, crawly, walky to progressivisms, which is not really progressive. To me, it's just like towing the line. Yeah. Now, I will say this. The person that I was happy that they did pick for VP Harris's running mate is Tim Walz. And the only reason why I was happy about that is because he did do a lot of progressive policies while he was a governor of Minnesota. He did, you know, extended child care. He did he codified for the right for bodily autonomy for abortion. He did do extended tax credit for having kids. Like he did a lot of really good stuff. He did he banned the PFAS. Like so he's the more progressive person that's on that ticket. And one of the things that was said that if one of the reasons why he was picked is because that's something that she was looking to do, is more progressive things on the top of the ticket, which I sincerely hope that she does. But at the same time, I also know her record as an AG. I know her record as a prosecutor. I know her record as a DA when she was in California, and it's not that great. So so those are the things that I'm very concerned about. But if I were to say anything to any of us that's out there in the land of the voting, is that I think that a lot of us, as you said, do take the Valium and be like, okay, a Democrat's in office, everything is well. And voting is only part of the civic engagement.
Yep.
That's only part of it. I have to shout out at I think it's called the Secular Coalition of America, or Secular Coalition of, because they do a day of engagement every year in March, where they encourage people who happen to be on our side of the aisle to come, and they make appointments with congressional members. And they have a list of different things that they want to talk about. A lot of it has to do with progressive things, and also making sure that we are codifying separation of church and state. And they have different people from different organizations who happen to be secular. I know that Mandisa Thomas from the Black Non-Believers goes every year. I'm hoping to go next year with them, because if we say that we care about what happens here, we have to be engaged with the people who are in office. Because if we don't, the only people that's going to be engaged with them are lobbyists and corporate interest. And also, even though that, yes, corporate interest and lobbyists and all those other people, they band together, they give money to these people, it's still your vote that actually puts you in office. And as people can vote you in, they can vote you out. And the people who are going to be more susceptible to that are congressional members, especially like, the House of Representatives. So those are the people who, they are the first line of defense anyway when it comes to legislation. And they can even override a veto if the president decides to do something. So I think it's like more, I just kind of just wish that, even though, like, no, I hear exactly, guys, what you're saying, and I completely agree. But we that's on this side, we still need to be more engaged in order for us to make change, because change comes from the ground up. It doesn't come from the top down.
I entirely agree. Can I explore that with you for just a second?
Let's explore, Eric. That is why we are here.
Bree, is that okay? I don't want you to just be like, okay,
yeah, no.
Okay. So here's, I have a little gigantic nit to pick there.
Please, nit.
So our system is such that a large amount of congressional House people are gerrymandered into districts where they don't have a chance of losing. And they're not trying to find a middle ground to get the votes, because they're going to stay in office no matter what. There are people who have been, there for 30 plus years because their district looks like this, spaghetti. And because of that, I think that currently, I don't think our House is as incentivized to listen to the people as we think they are. I think that we need to find where the districts are that they do need to, fight to keep their seat. But largely, like, I lived in Texas. Right. Now I'm in Oregon. Do we think that the Senate, like, is going to just jump red soon in Oregon or in California? Like, do we really think that's gonna, and even in, I don't know. in a perfect world, I agree, but I don't think we live in that world.
No, we don't live in that world. We do not. But I want to bring something up to you that made me really go, wow. The current Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, ran unopposed in Louisiana. He ran unopposed. And if you even had somebody that was even a Republican that was not as sycophantic as him to go to Congress and become Speaker of the House or whatever, he would not be in that seat. And even though, yes, gerrymandering is a huge problem. And I know I'm in Illinois. Illinois is always going to go blue, right? But there's still going to be seats that can be identified where if you see that your representative is a problematic blue person, even if you happen to be Democrat or whatever you want to, whatever your flavor of politics is, then, you know, those seats can be targeted, and, you know, and other people can be like, okay, well, if you're not listening to us, if we're not really, like, you know, trying to hear what we're trying to say, hey, we're going to put up, you know, a candidate against you. We actually did that here in Chicago. They had 2 young people who were we
and he was in Chicago.
Like we had the one person that, like, you know, for mayor that was unseated, even though he ran on a very progressive ticket. And then also we had like a couple of Congress people that a group that I was working with, that we targeted their offices in order for us to get them out. And we were at very, very close to actually getting them replaced with people who happen to be a little bit more progressive than they were, because they've been in office like for centuries, right? So one of the things that ended up happening is that they saw that, oh, okay, wow, you know, we actually have people who are going to do some work to get us out of office. Then they were actually willing to talk about, okay, so what is it that you are wanting to bring to the congressional floor when we get there? So that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Like,
and I love that. Wholeheartedly, absolutely. I lived in Texas where Greg Abbott could tomorrow come out with a I Kick Babies campaign. And Beto O'Rourke is still not going to get unseated.
No, like, Texas is a whole different beast. Like I've even helped, like, you know, do like a little canvassing when I was in, because I did, you know, visit Texas a few times, like, because I did Houston Oasis a couple of times.
Okay.
And, you know, so I did sit with Texas to the left when they were, you know, trying to get some more people in office. But I think that one of the things that it's going to be very difficult to do when you have a state like Texas is to get somebody at the executive level that's blue. That's probably more than likely not going to happen. It's better to look at the local races and see who is running, like, for state legislature, because they can hem him up for some of the things that they want to do if you have enough people that actually are on your side. But it does take a lot of organizing. It does take a lot of commitment, and it does take a lot of stick-to-itiveness. It's not something for the faint of heart. And you can get burnt out, because trust, honey, listen, that's why I'm talking to you right now, because I did get a lot burnt out on politics a lot. And so that's why I decided to kind of do like more reporting. But, you know, I do dip my toe back into activism. So because, like, I'm like, okay, no, this is not okay. We need to get organized. And it's not, but but if you do like the small stuff first, like, you know, if you just like, okay, I'm just going to target this seat right here. We're looking at like a local office, like for aldermen, or we're looking at like a state legislature for this particular district that happens to be a bit smaller, but they can still influence other people who happen to be in the seats right now. That can make a bigger difference and also be worth people's time when they do organize, versus just saying, oh, if we're targeting the senator, you can forget it, or we're just talking to the governor, you can just forget it. It's the best to start small. That's my opinion.
I appreciate that, and I take
that. Yeah, and I mean, the ironic thing is, because the majority of people kind of all tend to agree on progressive policies. So I think for a lot of these, solid red districts, it's entirely possible to run as a Republican with progressive policies. And who knows? You might win.
Well, and define progressive policies, though.
Solid district.
Oh my goodness!
I
Eric
spoke over you. I'm so sorry.
Eric is playing devil's advocate with you, Bree.
Oh yeah, okay. But because the primaries is really like, especially for these districts where the Democrats are always going to win this district or the Republicans are always going to win this district. Running in the primaries and showing up for the primaries is where you're going to make the most difference. And you're possibly going to threaten them and be like, oh, I need to actually do what my constituents want or they're going to kick me out. Like, I mean, I live in, I don't know if you guys remember Steve King from Iowa's 4th district. Mr. hung out with Nazis in Austria on the taxpayers' dime. He kept winning the election over and over again, no matter who ran against him. It wasn't until he faced a serious Republican primary that he finally got unseated.
Yeah.
So, not that the guy that replaced him is, I mean, he's also racist, but I mean, he's not a Nazi. So,
this is a racism.
Honestly, like, screw this. That not being a racist should not count as a bonus. Like that. Well, at least he's, or no, I'm sorry. At least he's not a Nazi. I don't know. You know, if he's just, okay.
Obviously, I did not vote for this dude, and I'm not going to vote for him again. Like this year either. But I mean, I do live in a blue city tucked inside a deep red district. So.
Actually, that's a lot of Texas. A lot of Texas were like, blue districts, blue cities, and a lot of the sea of the red. It was very, and the funny thing is like, I remember, when I was like kind of helping tabling for Texas to the Left, we were actually at a block party that was ran by Roland Martin, and I cannot stand Roland. I do not like that man. But he doesn't watch this show, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, the internet lives forever, people. Somebody said clip on it. It's like this. They're going to be like, hey, Roland, there's this insignificant person that said, like, on this show that she does not like you. How do you feel about that?
I think I'm going to have a burrito for lunch. I think that's what he's going to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think one of the main reasons is like, I don't like the whole herding people to the polls just because they want to guilt you into voting. Like, I know like the main talking point like for African Americans is people died in the civil rights movement to make sure that you can vote. So it's your duty, not only as a citizen and part of the citizenry, but also to your progenitors. So we get guilted, right? Like my mom would guilt me because she's Caribbean. So that's not a fallacy, people. Look it up. If you have a Caribbean parent, you will get guilted, and you just better just take it. It's basically what I'm saying to you, but I digress. So I have a hard time with that argument because you also need something to vote for as well as to vote against. And you should not have this whole thing about being guilted into going to the polls just because a thing happened at this particular time. Not to say that it's not important, but my thing is like, yes, that happened, but the main reason was not because you have to vote. It's because they wanted to give you the freedom and the right to vote without intimidation. So that should also be, you can choose whether if you're going to withhold your vote or you're going to exercise it. So in other words, stop guilting Black folk for voting or not voting. Stop that. Please, just if you want people's vote, be a better candidate.
Yeah. I'm
right.
Yeah. I'm on board with that.
You just need a reason to go to the polls. Come on. Shouldn't be too hard.
Well, and again, the argument of, well, it beats the alternative. That doesn't work for me in relationships. That doesn't work for me for friends. That doesn't work for me for work. That doesn't work for me, if the option is get punched in the face every day, and that's just so much better than, getting kicked in the balls too. None of those are good options. One is just not as bad. It's just, yeah.
The lesser evil is still evil.
That part right there. That part right there. I don't like that.
I never really know what to say to that.
Yeah. I never liked that whole thing about this lesser of two evils. I'm sorry, Brie. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
They're evil. And I'm like, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Say what you're saying, because I was talking when you were talking. I keep on forgetting that this is a delayed thing, and this is the reason why I'm not on Coalson shows, because I don't understand how any of this works, and this is why Eric is over here holding my hand virtually. Continue.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's like the lesser of two evils is still in itself evil, otherwise you wouldn't be calling it evil. And so that doesn't really encourage anyone to go out and vote for them. It's more an argument in fear of the other. And that isn't really motivating. And I mean, I understand wanting to avoid the greater evil, but you're not really, instead of going 5 steps back, you're going 1 step back. You're not moving ahead.
Yeah.
So
So here's a question sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to speak over you, Brie. I had a question for you.
You're okay. Go ahead.
For you and Cynthia. It sounds like people keep saying this is such an important election. Everybody needs to go out and vote.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like there are enough disillusioned MAGA people and enough conservatives that have this distaste, and enough liberals who are just like talking like us. It seems to me like there might not be as big a turnout as we're thinking.
Maybe. I mean, like, even though, like, well, I'm here now. Hey, Brie, how you doing, girl? Eric had to. I was about to say Eric had to check his pot roast. No, but okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. That's something to really think about. I'm not sure. I know that like since like I said, like, I immerse myself in this whole political landscape because I'm a masochist and a sadist. And,
which is why you're doing call-in shows.
Right.
You're among your people, Cynthia. It is okay. We're here. We appreciate you. We're incredibly pedantic.
I am feeling so embraced right now. So so like one of the things that I know that what the candidates are doing right now is they're mostly trying to visit a lot of swing states and swing districts. So like we're like the last time that we probably were going to see a Kamala and the Tim Walz in Chicago is like after the DNC. After that, we're not going to see them again, right? Unless they're like a fundraiser or something. But if they're really looking to like, to try to rally people and things of that nature, because we have this awful system called the Electoral College. Then
so now you say that after your whole thing about Congress, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, you know what? That's fair. That's okay. And I'm just like a grain of salt, just okay. Now you're doing. You know what? I'd like to see you walk this back. What?
I'm not gonna walk him back. No. I'm not. No, because like for the most part, like I told you, I agree with you. I was just saying that, like there's a part for the citizens to do too.
Okay.
But listen, I'm not completely disillusioned that I don't understand the big problems that we have with the way that our electoral system works, because I think it's dumb, it's racist. The only reason why we have an electoral college is because of the three-fifths compromise when we were first, drafting the Constitution back in the 1780s. So yeah, it's dumb, it's stupid, it's horrible. It needs to go. Now, what was my point? See, this is what happens when you're old. Anyway. Okay.
Bree, help us.
Yeah, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. So no, but but seriously, what they are going to be looking at more so are going to be the swing states, right? Because those are the places where the electoral college representatives can go either way, depending on what the districts do. Yeah. So now you have this notion that some people are voting, even though that they are lifelong Republicans, they're voting Democrat because Trump is just that bad. You have some people who traditionally are voting Trump, because I've heard this argument as well, is because they feel like, they've been ignored by the Democratic Party. So I'm saying all this to say is, who the fuck knows? We're going to see on November 4th is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, I have voted third party before. I've written in candidates when I feel that neither party is putting up a candidate that I feel is a good choice. I mean, Hillary Clinton famously told us progressives to just go away, that she didn't need us to win the election. And then she got mad when she lost the election and blamed us. And she said she didn't need our help. So, I mean, okay. But I do have hope, because what I'm seeing that's different between the Hillary Clinton campaign and the Kamala Harris campaign is that Hillary Clinton's idea of balancing the ticket was to pick someone who was more conservative than her when she was already herself a somewhat conservative Democrat.
Right.
At least as far as how she, governed as a senator.
Mm-hmm.
And also even just her position amongst those who were running in 2016, in the 2016 primary. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, chose someone who is more progressive than her, despite the fact that she had zero pressure to do so. If anything, there was probably more pressure to pick someone who was more conservative than her.
Yeah, I think that most people want her to do. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was just thinking, I think that's you had some people who actually wanted her to pick Josh Shapiro, who is the governor of Pennsylvania, because he's in a swing state. But protesters should be arrested, or protesters are terrorists. Yeah, I don't like that. And I also don't like that he does this weird thing where all of a sudden he talks like Obama. That's not the way you talk. Stop it. But continue. Yeah, it's very clearly affected, and it's not cool. So I mean, it's so I do see some hope for the future. And by the way, I do intend to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz this November, which would be the first time I voted for a Democrat since 2012 for president, anyway. Yeah. So I mean, there's that. I do also still expect Iowa to go to Trump because while he has lost a lot of momentum here, I think it's still enough to win him the state. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely going to get electoral votes, no matter, I think that the most expected places he's going to get those states, because it's going to be that regardless. And Bree, I did you I did the Green Party, because you can't write in candidates for the top of the ticket in Illinois for some reason. Or they'll completely throw out your entire ticket. They'll throw the complete thing out. So you have to vote for somebody that's actually on the ballot. So I did not like Biden at all. And I'll be the first one to say, like, I did not like that guy. Did not. And I voted third party. And I think that I was very close to doing that in 2016 too, because I wasn't a particular fan of Hillary Clinton either. Um, and so I can definitely see like why any person would. I know that like third party candidates really wouldn't get like a fair shake because of the electoral college. I prefer ranked choice voting. I think that that's more fair. And I
Yeah.
know that there's actually like, some places, I even believe that there's some places in Oregon, Eric, that actually have ranked choice voting, if I'm not mistaken, where basically you are ranking the people that you will want, to
Yeah.
see in office versus like, just picking somebody to see like if they arbitrarily come in. So, I don't know. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot.
Yeah, I was not expecting a politics episode.
Listen, when you got Cynthia on, you expect anything.
Okay. Well, you both
I
shared,
get
so
to
I'm
talk to a lot of
I
people about politics.
hmm?
So I am one of those. I'm a weird person because like my two favorite topics to talk to people about is religion. The two things we should never talk to people about.
Religion and politics. Yep, I'm the same way. So I don't go to many parties. I don't get invited to a lot of people's houses.
Those guys are boring anyways. Screw 'em.
Oh my god. We'd be like, I'm having a party. What about Cynthia? Nope. Pass.
Well, I will tell you that if you find yourself in Portland, I would be happy to hang out with you. Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Absolutely. Okay, I don't know if you're being sarcastic. Shut up.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't see that. I'm really a fan. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not tripping. Like I'm serious. I'm a fan, and for you to say that, it makes me.
You're making me red. Okay. I was excited. Anyway, politics.
Yeah.
Sorry. I have a low self-esteem. I can only take so much before I get I voted for Obama twice. I voted for Hillary. I voted for who's our president?
Biden.
Biden. I voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck him. Just I did my part, didn't I? I did my part. I'm angry. The argument, people in the comments, shouldn't you vote against evil? I voted against evil. They didn't do shit. No. I don't know. I think in a perfect world, the Democrat Party wins by an uncomfortably slim margin. That's my perfect world, where they win, but they are freaking scared because okay. Just saying this. Just saying this. I was in high school during the Bush presidency. I remember. Do you remember Bowling for Columbine? Do you remember how Dick Cheney was the face of evil?
I do.
There was a comment a while back already in this episode, somebody asking about the Overton window. The Overton window has switched such that Liz Cheney was the House of Reason when it came to, or the House of Reason was the voice of reason in the House when it came to the January 6th committee. And Dick Cheney has endorsed Kamala Harris for president.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be on the same side as Dick Cheney. If I am on the same side as Dick Cheney, something is deeply wrong.
He did get a heart transplant, so maybe he's a better person.
Oh, just like the Grinch. His hearts grew.
Look, what? I'm sorry, but as many human lives, as many human lives have been lost because of Dick Cheney when it comes to war. I wish I believed in a hell so that people like Dick Cheney could go there. And he's I don't ever want to be on the same side as someone like that. And right now I am, because that was the question in the chat. Well, how do you feel about the Overton window changing? We can know. I my optimism has stopped, and I no longer think that that the arc of history bends towards progress, because if you are not careful and you are not pissed off enough, it will march right back in the other direction.
I mean,
Yo, let me tell you something. There's a certain person. There's a certain person. I'm sorry, guys. I just have to mention it. That is in the chat right now, who would appreciate what I'm about to say. You know who you are.
McCain.
No, not McCain, because he's dead.
Right. Sorry. I'm trying to read on the chat. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I am looking and hoping for the Federation. I am living for the Federation. That's all I have to say.
I think I don't live far from where First Contact is supposed to be, right?
True. Montana. No, First Contact was in Montana.
nice.
Bozeman, Montana. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, I know Chris, who is in the chat. Yes, I know that sounds like something that you would say, because you would, and that's the reason why I said it. And I knew that you would appreciate it. I am looking for the Federation.
So have you, like,
Somehow there's a giant ravine in Iowa. I don't understand that.
Has anybody popped that bubble for you, just how fashy the history of the Federation appears to be?
How fascist it is?
Like, the way that they talk about, like, it doesn't sound like everything just became peaceful.
Oh, because it didn't.
No.
Oh yeah, no.
No, it didn't.
There
were bumps in the road.
Well, so the Muslim. Go ahead, Brie. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm saying just I remember. I think it was Next Generation. They had to answer to, like, I think it was one of Q's episodes, but they had to answer for, like, human history, and
that was the first episode.
Like, when, like, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, and like
what they were talking about.
Yeah, Q was going through the atrocities that is human history, and he wasn't lying, he wasn't wrong, and basically, like, all the bloodiness that had to happen, that basically happened until we got the utopia that is the Federation at that time in the 21st century.
Okay, so, but the Muslim faith calls itself the religion of peace.
Right.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I never explored the religion of
everybody's a Muslim. The world's at peace.
That's the answer, Brie. Is once everyone is converted to being a Muslim, there will be world peace. Once everyone is forcefully made to get with that system, then it will be a peaceful world. That is why they call themselves the religion of peace.
Don't they say the same thing about Christianity?
Didn't they say that about the Federation? Don't change the subject, Cynthia.
My bad.
But there's no real, like, accountability to the people, the members of the Federation, which maybe it's just because we're seeing it from the point of view of, like, we're basically watching the Navy ships or whatever, as they go through space, or Space Navy, I don't know.
That's Starfleet. Starfleet is basically the Space Navy, yes.
Like the average person in the Federation.
Well, okay, so I will say this about Eric, and actually Chris made this point in the chat as well, that the Federation's goal is to make a more peaceful galaxy through cooperation. You are not forced to join the Federation. It's like either you can apply or you're offered, but you don't necessarily have to become a Federation planet. So there's that. And so, like, the goal is to, and remember, there is Directive 1, remember? The Prime Directive, which is that you do not interfere with the
you
don't interfere with the natural evolution of a planet or society.
And even that, we don't agree that
And they also agree with that.
social evolution is not as much a thing. Like evolution is a biological thing. Social evolution is where you get eugenics. And by the way, the history in Star Trek, there was a whole eugenics war that was fought. Just saying.
Okay. Wait, hold on. I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
Do it.
I gotta do it.
I've been pushing this button. Come on. Like,
come on.
Yes. Yes. You got
to do it.
No, that was the right time to do it if there was ever a right time.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to get that out.
Now I need to watch Trek. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Trek. Picard.
I just have to like just jump in really quick to say I just love how our conversation went from politics to Star Trek. It's great. Continue. That's why you're a friend of mine now.
I'm deeply trying to drive it away from There is a through line.
There's a through line.
It's hear people be like, "Get your politics out of my Star Trek," and we're all sitting here going, "Have you ever watched the show?"
It's always been politics.
Oh,
always.
My goodness. Yes, that was that the whole thing
Always
was about politics. Always. I mean, just look at Gene Roddenberry's story, for Pete's sake. Like, you know, he was really like seriously interjecting his politics when he was writing stories. Come on now. And he was a socialist too. It's just
there was a big controversy with Sakura being on the bridge, you know.
Yeah.
An actual officer. Yeah. But, that was a statement.
Yeah, it was. And shout out to Lieutenant Uhura, aka Nichelle Nichols, who is also from the Chicagoland area, from Robbins, Illinois. R.I.P. girl. R.I.P. I have to say that. Thank you.
Okay. So Bree, while you're on the, I'm not taking it back. I'm sorry. No, we live here now.
We built a house and everything.
Absolutely, we're paying taxes. This is where we're at. So Cynthia and Bree, who's your captain?
Oh boy, man, I knew you were going to ask me that question. Picard is your captain?
Well, I do really love Captain Janeway, but I think I'm still going to default to Picard.
Okay. Okay. Story time.
Please, because I'm going to give one in return. You lay it out. What do you got?
So, Picard. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bree. No, before I do my story time, please go ahead. Continue.
Extenuating circumstances and outside of normal operations through all of Voyager. So, whereas Picard was like, standard operations and stuff, fully supplied and everything. So, I don't know. It's a very close, but I lean more towards Picard, and it might just simply be because Next Generation was really the first Star Trek I ever watched.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I used to watch the original series with my mother before Star Trek: The Next Generation premiered, and I was 10 when it premiered. That's, I ain't telling you my age now, but I'm just saying. Anyway.
Understood. So who's your captain?
Okay, who's my captain? Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so for a long time, my captain was Picard because I felt that the TNG was the show of my generation growing up.
Okay.
Until I met Sir Patrick Stewart. I met him at a convention back in 2013, I want to say. And I paid my little money to take my picture with him. And I was so like, oh my God, this is Sir Patrick Stewart. You are the Shakespearean god. You are this, you are everything, right?
Yeah.
And so I asked him for a hug. And then he said, "No, dear." So English. So Englishly smug, so Britishly smug. And I was like, well, I guess you were nice about it. And I just walked away. with all of my hopes and dreams and aspirations of actually, connecting with this person like down the toilet. And that's when I said, fuck you, I'm with Avery Brooks.
Brooks?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yes.
I need reasoning other than Patrick Stewart, because you are cruising right past the best captain. I need to know why you're not either picking Cisco or Janeway. I need to know.
No, Cisco is Avery Brooks.
Oh, is he?
That's Cisco.
Oh,
as Avery Brooks. Okay. So I'm with him because, and I'm with him because, first off, he was, I don't know. Well, first off, he was sexy as fuck. I'm sorry, he was. I'm just like, and then especially after, okay. And then like, okay, so because I used to watch him on TJ Hooker, okay, like from back in the day, like seriously. And I used to watch it with my mama and my dad. Like I used to watch TJ Hooker when he was Hawkeye and he had like the ball and he was like, the big gun and shit. I was like, oh yeah. And then I was like really excited when he actually got this, was on Deep Space Nine. And and I like the way that he captained. I like the way he commanded. I like the way he captained, and I also like that he was willing to expand his beliefs when he got more information. I liked that, even though like I kind of felt Deep Space Nine in of itself leaned a little bit too much on the spiritualness. Like I didn't particularly.
Is a spirit. Yeah, there's a whole
there's a whole spiritual arc, and that kind of annoyed me, especially after I was just like I became an atheist or whatever, or I defaulted to being an atheist because of reasons. We already know the reasons. It's all the reasons. Every reason you can think of, yes.
Yep.
Anyway, okay. So that but I did like that he was willing to kind of like expand the way that he thought, and I loved his relationship with Jake. Like I love that. I love that father-son camaraderie and the reason being, I think because I was very close to my dad before he passed away, so I loved that bond between them.
Nice. So the personal character development in DS9 is just I in the same way that you and I were talking. I told you I want to get into the universe,
right.
of things.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't connect with Deep Space Nine, from the outset, and so I never finished it, and so that I have to put that asterisk there. Totally understood.
Yeah.
And you're wrong. And I'll tell you why.
Oh my God! Sorry, they're talking about.
Wait, you're wrong too, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, good.
Okay.
There's coffee in that nebula, so I mean, how can you not relate to that?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. Because there's no way in hell I would want to serve on the crew under Picard. Why? Because whatever reason I got stuck down on the planet, if ethically the right decision is to leave you the fuck there, he's going to write in his journal about what a tough choice it was for him and how he, his high-minded. No, Janeway will break space and time to get to you. Janeway did not. It's not you said, oh, you're stuck in the Gamma Quadrant, and so no. Did you watch the end of Voyager?
Delta Quadrant. They were
stuck
in the
Delta. Thank you.
Yes,
Delta.
No problem.
But like, did you watch the end of Voyager? Spoiler: it's a 20-year-old show, I think. So like, let's not pretend that it's new information. But like, she got back. And there was a whole lot. There are whole lives of people that took place, like that were there, and she broke the universe because she needed to save the rest of her freaking people. And if I'm going to go serve under a captain, I don't want a captain who's going to sit there and go, no, well, the prime directive states that, we need to respect these people. And if that means we need to kill off a couple of our crew to make sure that we're following their ethical. Yeah, fuck that. No, Janeway will break the universe. Like, how can you beat that?
Okay. All right. You convinced me. Janeway's the best captain.
Between her and Picard. I mean, for one thing, she shares my coffee addiction. So, I mean.
Yeah.
There is that.
There is that, too. I mean, I
don't know. I really preferred. I suppose part of it's because, for me, the main contrast at first was between Picard and Kirk and their style of captaining.
Mm-hmm.
Because my dad's a huge original series fan. And while I love Spock, I never really liked Kirk. And I especially don't like Kirk's need to always be the hero. And so to me, that was so refreshing to see a captain being the captain, Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd send his away team, but he would stay on the ship because, he commands the ship.
Well, because Riker, remember Riker was like totally like gnarly when it came to, Captain Picard actually going on away missions. Remember, he had this whole thing that he didn't like the captain going on away missions because he felt that it was his duty to protect him as the captain. And a lot of times, if like Captain Picard went on the away mission, like he would have to fight like tooth and nail in order for him to lead it because of Riker. So there's that.
Yeah. And
that's also the case too. That dynamic of there's more than just one important person on the ship, I guess.
Eric said that Picard would put in his log, left Eric on the planet's surface today.
Oh well.
We're gonna go to Starbase 25843 pick up some more people.
Yeah, we got to restock, and not to mention, do you think any of the other captains, do you think the other captains are going to team up with the Maquis? I mean, if I'm going to if I lived in that universe, I would be Maquis. I would not be Federation. And don't get me we should bring that here. I would vote for the Maquis. We should do that as a party. I feel like that is what we need.
The Maquis party.
Damn straight.
We're gonna form the Maquis party. So then who are the Cardassian overlords that we are fighting against?
I mean, I think it's not as pretty as that, because I think that it's a bunch of Russian bots. It's a bunch of misinformation. Right now it's us trying to sort through the social media storm that is completely throwing us off of the fact that we're too busy fighting each other to recognize that our pockets are getting picked by the rich. So who's the Cardassians? Elon Musk.
Elon Musk he kind of looks like a Cardassian. If you
he's
neck thing going on, he could maybe he's a lizard person like in disguise, like a Slavarian, like on Doctor Who. Like remember the Slavarians? Like those are the lizard people for real. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
he's a Cardassian, but he's the one dumb enough to actually make it obvious what he's doing, while all the other billionaires are like, "What are you doing? Shut up!" Like Jeff Bezos and Zuckerberg and all them. They're just like, no. We stay quiet. We stay in the background. We try to look like normal people as much as we can, and we're like, no. Yeah, we're totally not like paying like a bunch of lobbyists and stuff money to get whatever we want. That kind of thing. And Musk is just too dumb to do it the traditional way.
Well, Bree, thank you so much for calling in. We really do appreciate this hanging out with us. I appreciate this conversation so much. I love the arcs that our conversation actually took. From hey, let's from politics to Star Trek to lizard people.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, that's okay.
To who we are going to name the Cardassians. I think that we solved the world problem on the show in an hour and 30 minutes, to be honest.
We just got to find and support the Maquis.
Hey, I don't usually get to actually talk to you people on the air. Usually I'm behind the scenes.
Yeah, you're helping make it work.
You did, and thank you so much for doing that. And and when we have new hosts next week, call in again and create another arc and talk more about lizard people. I would love that.
Thank you, Bree.
Thank
you for everything you do.
Guys, thank you so much for actually tuning in to yet another episode of Let's Talk Sunday. We want to thank Eric so much for being here, allowing us to allowing me to fangirl.
Thank you for having me, and for everybody watching. Check out Skeptic Generation. It is on Sunday mornings, and I'd love to see you there too.
Yes, please check out Skeptic Generation on Skeptic Generation. That is Skeptic Generation on Skeptic Generation, which is on YouTube. And make sure you call in to talk to Eric, and also make sure that you support the channel, become a patron, do all the things like subscribe and also share the videos. And also share the little clips that come out of those calls, because he has very good conversations. And what you do? No problem.
Cynthia, this has been so much fun. I was not expecting this, and I hope I didn't, yell at you too much. It was all in love, I promise.
No, you are fine. I appreciate the yelling. Remember, I told you my mother's Caribbean. I'm used to it.
You can abuse me. I'm used to getting yelled at. It's fine.
Fine. It's totally fine. Listen, I remember one Christmas, my grandmother threatened to drink beer and cuss us all out in patois. And I told her, you don't need to drink beer because you do that every day. So we want to say thank you guys for tuning into Skeptic Haven. Let's Talk on Sundays. Remember, we also have other shows that come out every week. We have, I believe, the Black Freethinkers that are on Mondays. We have the Sunny Spot that comes on Thursdays. And on Saturdays, we have the Global Atheists and Women Atheists Unload. And every other Saturday, we do have 30 in 60.
Damn.
Also, yeah, we got a lot going on here. A lot. Also, if you guys are monetized, so you can get to super chats, and you can also support us on Patreon. So if you are looking to become a patron, please go to www.patreon.com/Skeptic Haven and give. Every little bit helps to bring more content to you. And we also want to thank our patrons, Paul Hamish, Karen Butcher, that's the word, Butcher, Puck, Helen Green, Logan Fisher, Amanda McLeod, Eric Ozols, Rion, Deneen Murphy, Dan D, Michael Wiseman. The Bible says what? That's his book. The Bible says what? Sonny Shell, Aaron Coalson, and Phil Calderone. So guys, again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you guys check us out all week long. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that ding-a-ling bell so that you get a notification every time that we are live or we upload another video for one of our 10 trillion shows. Eric.
Cynthia, thank you so much again. That's damn, I didn't realize you guys are putting out so much. Holy crap, that's awesome.
Oh, thank you. Well, you have made us so much more better for being here today, and my heart has became big since you are here.
Oh, I'm so glad. We got to hang out again for sure.
We do. So, have my people call your people. I don't have really people.
I don't either. That's okay.
Just
we'll get in touch.
We'll get in touch. Yeah, I've been wanting to visit Oregon anyway. Like the whole West thing. That's neither here nor there. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Have a good night.
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.